Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we got ourselves some Pega certification studying to do. We have some video uploads to handle, and then later on tonight we got Final Fantasy VII. Feeling a little tired right at this moment in time, so probably not going to be doing too long of a Final Fantasy VII gameplay, but uh, we'll see what we can do. Now, if you're, you know, catching me right now on stream on YouTube, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully, you'll stick around and chat with me while I go through this. Or, feel free to lurk. It's no problem with me. Um, don't worry. I've lurked on my own fair share of streamers as well, so I don't really see a problem with it personally. Okay. Now, obviously, it'd be great if you had chatters, but you don't have to. Okay, so no worries on that. But if you're catching this on YouTube later, say like on my playlist for the Pega certification, then um, anything you can do to help me out with the algorithm would be fantastic. You know what to do. No need for me to explain. Um, but um, but there are some things that I need to discuss about these videos, especially if you're catching it um, later on YouTube. Okay, so first thing, who am I? I'm currently, truth be told, I'm a out of work, unemployed software developer who's looking for work. I'm doing these videos to one, get that certification so that I can add it onto my resume and hopefully have a little bit more of a potential chance of getting a job. Um, the um, the other part of it is that these videos are up there so that anyone within the Pega community could go into my videos, see the questions that I'm asking, and provide an answer. Now, if you're watching these videos and you're a new learner, much like myself, then you don't have to worry too much. I mean, unless you, of course, you understand the material better than I do. Maybe you can kind of explain it a little bit better than what Pega Academy has done. Um, and hopefully, um, we can all learn together. You can either provide the answer right now in chat if you want to, or put it in a comment on those videos itself. That would be fantastic. Because at least on those videos, um, you'll have, um, you know, those comments there that will always be there for anybody else that might have the exact same questions later. Okay. Now, if you have questions yourself, go ahead and provide them. Okay, go ahead and ask them because um, I may know the answer to them. Okay, I may have an answer for you for those questions. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask them. Okay, if I do not have the answers to those questions, then I will try to find someone that does. Okay, and I will either provide the answer myself or see if they can go to that particular question and answer it for you. Okay, either way, asking questions will help in the long run. Okay, because not only will you get you'll get an answer, and others will as well. Okay, so but that's what these recordings are all about. Trying to provide um, some oversight, some some way for me to kind of wrap my head around the topics and provide a forum for others to discuss those said topics, said challenges, so on and so forth. Provide a way for others to kind of discuss what's happening, what's going on. Maybe there's something in that topic or challenge that might be confusing to others. You know, we can discuss it in the comments. So, don't be afraid to do that. Okay? So, um, that's basically me in these videos. Um, now, um, a little bit more about me. I am not an authorized training partner, and I'm not an instructor-led training. Okay, so don't consider me as either one of those. Okay, um, you have to expect that an instructor-led training or an authorized training partner would be very knowledgeable in terms of the Pega environment and provide you everything that you need to know. Okay, my last job, you know, provided an authorized training partner, but well, the majority of us went self-study for reasons. Won't really discuss too much about what happened, but let's just say that a good, like, probably 99% of the class went full um, self-study. Some of us even asked to be put back into, training again, just to get a solid, to get a better understanding of Pega, but that didn't happen. So, um, now it fell onto my shoulders after that training was over to try to get that certification because when they forced, the one and only time that I took a certification, they basically forced me, and I was already in self-study, and I was not prepared for it. And I knew that I was going to fail, and well, I failed. So it wasn't too much of a surprise to me, um, even though I missed like 6 questions below the minimum. So it's still not great, but like I said, I knew that I wasn't prepared for it. I did not feel confident enough to be able to answer the questions properly. And what tripped me up as well was the fact that, in my certification 8.6 test, I was being faced with, some Pega 7 um, keywords in there as well. So that threw me off. So yeah. But if you want to do the instructor-led training, then go ahead and do so. I think it's like a 2-week course for $5,000. So it's not exactly cheap. And it is a very condensed course. So, learn as much as you can, take notes, record the video, whatever. Okay. But don't forget to ask questions during your instructor-led training. Okay. Don't be afraid to do that because you're going to be needing everything, you know, for the certification test. Okay, they will throw everything but and the kitchen sink at you for the certification test. So you need to know um, everything. Well, as much as you can anyway for the certification test. So um, now, if you're here for a business architect, it's done. Um, you don't have to worry too much about studying this particular topic because all the topics that I've covered, the 2 missions and the 2 modules, I'm already done. It's already on the playlist. Okay, so if you want to, feel free to stop this video and go back to the very start and start from there. Okay, I tried to build the playlist in the order on which it was um, given to us as 8.7. Okay. Now, for those of you that might be like, but wait, Jim, there's 8.8. Well, that's great, but 8.8 didn't have the other languages translated yet, so I wasn't comfortable with doing an 8.8 um, I wasn't comfortable with doing the 8.8 because, there might be other people from around the world that might want to follow along with me. Okay. Um, maybe they're French, maybe they're German, maybe they're Japanese, maybe they're, you know, Portuguese, Brazilian, um, maybe they're Spanish, you know, whatever. Okay. Um, you know, I want people to be comfortable with being able to follow along, with me, even though uh, I don't speak any of those languages at a conversational level anyway. I know very few words in Spanish and German, maybe even a couple of Japanese, but that's it. Just a few. Nowhere near being able to hold a conversation with anyone. So, from around the world, unless they spoke English. um, but um, just to know, these two modules here are from the Pega Express Delivery. The Pega Express Delivery is, from what I saw, 12% of the certification for the business architect. So if you're trying to do the business architect, make sure that you cover over the Pega Express Delivery a little bit more. I don't think these two modules covers it well enough. Go over the mission. You know, um, do yourself a favor. Study this. Okay, but we're going to continue with our system architect. We still got a long ways to go. We're only 60% way complete. Um, there's a lot of content still left to do. Um, so, I have this challenge next, and we're going to be getting into some fairly long topics here fairly soon, you know, which is probably going to take, a couple sessions to get through. So, so just prepping you in advance what you might be seeing. So, all right, let me go ahead and initialize the instance. The scenario is in roadside assistance cases, a customer service representative must assign a service provider to the case, review the summary of the services provided, and submit the request. Create a team called CSR at GoGo for customer service representatives and route the select service provider and review service summary steps to the work queue for the team. And a widget to the dashboard to display the work list for the CSR at GoGo team. So for the CSR at GoGo work queue to be searchable in App Studio, you must associate the operator with the same work group as the work queue. So while it's initializing the Pega instance, we're going to go ahead and copy the password. The author is still the same. We have 5 tasks to get through. One of which is optional, but we'll probably still cover that anyway. Now, there is this challenge walkthrough video that we can go through for 3 minutes and 43, but we shouldn't need to. Okay, this is gonna kind of go step by step through the detailed tasks. We're gonna be going through those detailed tasks anyway. Okay, um, so if you need to, like if there's some part of the detailed task that you're not quite sure about, you're kind of confused about, then go ahead and use the walkthrough. I have in the past with some challenges, but not all, obviously. You know, my opinion is the detailed task should provide you with enough information for you to complete what you need to complete. Um, so yeah. Um, and normally I've kind of discussed some of those things as well. Um, oh, I keep on forgetting that I still have emails that I want to discuss with you all. Okay. Well, here, let me go over them right now. Because I received a couple more responses um, that I forgot to mention last time. So let me go ahead and address those a little bit. Okay, um, so one of the suggestions was here. Actually, hold on. Let me let's let that continue going there. Um, so we were. This is coming from the Mission Low Code App Builder Extended. So this was a long time ago. Um, Concerning dashboards. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not quite sure which one they're referring to. So, or at least they're not providing the the exact topic for me, unfortunately. So in the suggestion, I said in the widget's image with the plus symbols, it really didn't feel like there was much explanation to the slots, and felt like a little touch of bad grammar on at least one of the sentences provided. Suggestion is to maybe rewrite and add more details. Thanks and regards. Well, actually, that's more the person saying thanks and regards. But their reply was, we received the following feedback from you. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. We will consider your suggestion in our upcoming updates. Meanwhile, please go through the updated content in the current release. So, not much there. Um, all right, let's move on to the next one. So, this one is concerning um, customizing a dashboard, which I believe is a fairly recent one, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on a second, let me. Uh, no, or this one again isn't really giving me um, the exact topic right at this moment in time. Um, but the reply is this. Our editing team must have agreed with you as starting in 8.8 challenges tell the user which account to log into first. Thank you for the suggested edit. So while we have used author in the past challenges, the fact that 2 additional users were added that are able to log into the challenge means that there should be clarified who needs to log in first, even if it is just a simple note stating application developer is logging in first for creating the changes for the CSR and manager. One could make the assumption, but assumptions can also cause unnecessary problems as well. Um, so they must have handled that in their 8.8. But obviously, I'm going through the 8.7, so um, they say that 8.8 has addressed that. If they did, then great. If they haven't, well, you guys are gonna have to send in your own suggestions. Don't let them get away with that. Okay. Let's see. We got three more replies here. Decision rule conflicts. Um, So my suggestion was question concerning the note, see attached. If you evaluate all rows in a decision table, what happens if you encounter multiple true statements on multiple rows? Does it send back the first row or does it send back the first row and only the first row? Does it return all rows? Does it give you an error because you could potentially get multiple results? Um, So I kind of know about it now in that if you select the option for, evaluate all rows, it sends back a list. But that's the thing. At that particular moment in time, it didn't really state that at the very beginning. So their reply is, thanks for the suggested edit. I put an item in to have us clarify this in our next release. In the meantime, your answer. It will stop the first time something evaluates to true. You want to consider the order when creating the decision table. Um, oh, but that's incorrect there, Liz. Because when you say evaluate all rows, it says later on that a list is created for everything that is is sent back. So So even her statement here isn't correct. Okay. Let me reply back on this one. Um, um, so concerning, and we'll stop the first time something evaluates true. Um, I read in a later topic that a evaluate all rows option sends back a list um, to whatever is um, evaluating the decision itself. So that what you just mentioned is counter to what I read later. Um, can you please clarify? Um, I want to make sure um, and make sure if I select evaluate all rows, does it send back one answer or multiple? Okay. So so already I'm like, hold on here. Um, got a little bit of a problem with that. What you provide. Okay, so this one that I'm talking about, um, hmm, looks like a problem with the like a module quiz. The answers on this question feels off, I state. If you are testing on whether or not they are qualified for a particular position, wouldn't you want to test whether they fill in that particular position? Hence, needed columns to test whether or not they fit that particular position. The only column that you are using is feedback, which can be considered subjective or wordy. How can you evaluate that condition in the first place? I think this question needs to be reevaluated because I feel as though the logic isn't really there. Like, how can you have a condition on whether or not an interviewee can fit into a particular position? Feedback doesn't cover that. So, this particular person said, I've also added this into our next release considerations. Thanks for the suggestion. So that was it. That's all that, Um, so, you know, obviously, they don't necessarily need to provide us with an updated question like right then and there because, there's something that needs to be considered about it anyway. So that's perfectly fine. No worries on that. As long as they're considering it, then it's all good. Um, so okay. So this one, thank you for all your suggestions. I don't want to bombard your email today as I go through the ones we put on hold during our latest release. For any items you left as a suggestion, I will put it in our next release notes. If you have a question in the suggestion, I'll reply with an answer. We appreciate your notes. Have a great day. Okay, so that was the last reply that I got from this particular person. Um, so that was it. Um, not necessarily addressing, the individual suggestions that I was having, but at the same time, still kind of letting me know that hey, they're still working on it, which is fine. Like I heard before, um, they are going through a fairly major update. So, matter of fact, as you can tell, let's actually kind of go back here real quick. Um, you know, if we look at their list here, you notice that, you have Pega Platform 8.8, which again doesn't have the translations yet, but you'll notice that you have Pega Platform 23 here. So, um, why they went with 23, I don't really know. But I mean, um, it is what it is. They can do whatever they want. Um, but I think, they probably should have. My personal opinion, they probably should have went with like a Pega Platform 9 if they really wanted to. But that's my opinion. Um, but I guess they're currently working on trying to get that ready or get that kind of set up. So, um, but yeah. Okay. So our instance is ready to go. We're behind with looking at those emails. So let's get into this. Author and then the pass. Oh, not the right password. Okay. Oh, right. I copied a statement in my email. That's why it was so long. Okay, so it's gonna take a little bit of time to kind of go through that. So this is gonna be it seems like this is gonna be dealing with quite a bit here. So this video is probably gonna be pretty long overall. So you know, so be prepared for probably longer than an hour in terms of video length. So you have to wait for all this to load in. So this is gonna take its time. So be prepared to wait a little while when you're dealing with the instances. So okay, now we need to go to preview. In the navigation pane, click dashboard. In the upper right corner, click create team. A create team window is displayed. Okay, the name is going to be CSR at GoGo. In the manager field, enter and select customer service manager. Nothing in the about, which again, don't do that. Make sure that you have a descriptive, in the about section. Okay, don't leave that blank because again, you know, um, while the name could be quite descriptive and all that, you know, the about should add more um, context, about it all. Like, what part, what departments is it meant to kind of cover, you know? What is it meant to look over, you know? Um, what work process needs to be handled, all that kind of jazz. Okay, so don't be afraid to put in the information there because you're probably going to be needing it sometime in the future, you know. And as you can see, there's a lot of people as a manager. You would think that there would be probably a better flag for that. Like these are all the employees. But maybe they're talking about like the manager of the team itself, which I mean, you could have like a team member doing it, not an actual manager. So, um, but maybe it'd probably be good for them to have like it kind of separated out in categories. maybe a little bit better, like um, like managers, departments, regular employees, what have you, kind of thing. So I don't have to necessarily search around for customer service manager. Um, there's two of them here. Which one do I need to go for? Oh, hold on a second. I want to take a screenshot of this. Let's see. Let me address this right now before I forget about it. Um, let's see. In task 1, when you are creating the team, it informs you to select the customer service manager for the manager of the team. However, when I pasted the words into the text field, I'm met with two different customer service managers. Two different customer service manager options. There we go. Let me just do it that way. All right. Which of the two should I go for? Because it doesn't state which email should be used. Recommend clarifying, especially when the drop down has a lot of options to choose from. All right. Okay, so I don't know which of the two that we should be going for. It doesn't state it outright. Who should the manager be? Um, just says managed by customer service manager. There's two different types of customer service manager. So, um, oh, you have the CSR manager or customer service manager. It's like, uh, both could be the exact same, you know, well, um, they're two separate emails, so they might not be going to the exact same person. Okay, so um, like this is the customer service rep manager, and this is the you know overall customer service manager. So I mean, this could be like a different. Um, this might be like the umbrella of customer services manager. So maybe, I don't know. They're not, like I said, they're not really clarifying on this sort of this moment in time. Let me see if there's like maybe a hint of who it goes to later on. So give me a second. Let me review this and see if there's like some little um, uh, something that kind of shows who it actually is. So, no, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, well, I don't know who it needs to go to. They did not clarify um, who it should be. Um, so I'm gonna pick one out of the two. I don't know if it's correct, but they don't really give me an option until they clarify that some more. Then there's nothing for me to know. Okay, they didn't specify which email out of these two are is the correct one. So, um, so because the they use the acronym there for CSR, um, I'm gonna go with this one, the CSR manager. It fits the same kind of um, um, style of writing. So, um, how I've kind of mentioned like camel case for programming for the variables, for example. I'm doing this one in particular for this, for a similar reason. You know, um, CSR manager here, for the CSR there. But no, notice something here. Okay. As soon as I selected that, it it lowered the capital letters down. So it might be this one because of the capital letters, but I don't know. That's my problem. Okay. They've messed up with capital letters in the past, so there's nothing clarifying this. And that's one of the problems when you use the same exact um, label. Okay, I've mentioned this before, where there was in the fact that they use the same label over and over and over again. You now have confusion as to what you might actually be addressing. Case in point, this is showing exactly why you want to make sure that your labels are distinct with each other. Okay. Otherwise, you won't know. Okay. I don't know which one they want me to select here. And because their notes did not clarify that more, I don't know, you know. So, so we're gonna stick with this one and we're gonna move on. And there's nothing more for me to do on this. Okay. They have to clarify that more. So, see how it says managed by customer service manager. Now, bear in mind, the managed by customer service manager, once again, they don't have, they have um, the letters capitalized here versus, not capitalized there. So I might have made the wrong decision there. Okay. Now, can I modify this? I can. So I could go back and change the manager if I really wanted to. I could switch it over to this one. I could do that. But um let's move on, okay? We we're we've kind of spent a lot of time on this step already, so um let's continue on. So click CSR at GoGo to open team. Details are displayed. Okay, which I've kind of already did, so there you go. Um, in the work queue section, verify that the Pega platform created the CSR at GoGo work queue by default. So, so notice how the work queue for the CSR GoGo has been created as well. So, um, so that's pretty much that. That's task one done. So we're moving on to task two. Okay, update the work group on the operator record. So in the header of the App Studio, click App Studio, Dev Studio to switch workplaces. Okay, so off we go. Okay, from the navigation pane on the left, click Records, expand Organization, and then click Operator ID. So Records, Organization, Operator ID. So Records, Organization, and Operator ID. The list of operator IDs are displayed. From the list, click Author at GoGo Road to open the operator record. So, um, so operator at GoGo Road. Unfortunately, there's a lot here. I'm not really seeing it right away. Where is it? Um, I'm I'm not seeing it right at this moment in time. Um, okay, hold on. Maybe because my window isn't like maximized or something like that. Hold on a second. Let me maximize my window and nope, that didn't really clarify anything at all. Oh wait, page 1 and 24. There we go. So, so just know that I can't necessarily see chat right at this moment in time because of the full window spread, but Um, so there's 24 pages on this. This is kind of this is a little rough because of just how many are in this list here, and there's no way for me to search on this at all. There it is. Um, okay. From the list, click. Let me add a suggestion on this here. Um, Under task 2, when you are asked this becomes difficult for multiple reasons. First, there are 24 pages of IDs within the instance, and author at Go Road isn't on the first page. Second, there is no search option for searching for author at Go Road within that window. Third and final minor issue was when I was using Chrome updated. Currently updated, so no worries there. Um, um, my screen wasn't full screen because I wanted to see other windows or work with other windows at the same time. However, the 1 through 24 pages wasn't visible when my window on my Chrome window wasn't full screen. Suggestion, allow for the pages to be movable based on the screen size. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to search for one of the IDs if you need to look at another window at the same time. Okay. Okay, there we go. I lowered the window size, although I'm gonna have to lower it a little bit more. There we go. Okay. How's everybody doing? I'm not seeing any chat, or I'm not seeing any chatters, so everything looks okay for the most part, but yeah. Okay. Um, okay, let's go ahead. Okay, from the list, click author at Google Road to open the operator record. So that's where we're at, the author at Google Road. So there we go. In the operator record, click the work tab. In the team field, enter or select CSR underscore GoGo at GoGo, which is the name assigned to team due to the use of the at character in a name. Wait, what? That's really the name of it? Hmm. Okay. Um, oh, look at the sheer number of different teams that there are there, folks. Why they have all this in there, I don't really know. They really don't need all this, you know. But I'm thankful that they have like CSR at GoGo there, so. Okay. So in team field, enter or select CSR at GoGo, which is the names. You said the add character in the name, so there you go. Click Save, and in the lower left corner, click Author or Log Off to apply the changes to the Author at GoGo operator record. I mean, the saving itself should be able to do that automatically, but whatever. We'll go ahead and log off. So now I have to log back in. So let me grab the password again. And once again, we deal with the login process. So this is gonna, oh, okay, didn't take nearly as long as it did before. So that's nice that it held on to that information fairly quickly. So I didn't have to worry about the loading of everything, which is, obviously a positive on that, but still. Um, okay, so we're back to the author at login operator ID. In the navigation pane, click case types and assistance request. So I'm assuming that we're still in the App Studio because that's where we're, um, you know, uh, it didn't tell us to go back to the Dev Studio. It automatically defaulted to the App Studio. So I'm going to assume right now that they just kind of want us to stick with the App Studio at this time. So, okay, so click the service, select service provider step. Wait, oh, assistance request, right. Okay, select service provider. In the properties pane on the right, in the route to dropdown, select work queue. On the second drop-down list, confirm that CSR at GoGo is selected. So most likely it's selected the team that you are, that the profile is associated with automatically as soon as you pick the work queue. So that should make sense. Uh, if well, if you were an author that had multiple teams or you were on multiple teams, which I mean they probably should have done that a little bit. They should have allowed for you to add, not necessarily change the team from CS GoGo to like, you know, um, you had the default team. But it, probably would have been great if they did, allow for you to add another team in there, just as a little side note. But just so you could see, like, the different teams that, your profiles has, and, making sure that you select the right one. So, click the review service steps. Click the review service summary step. Repeat steps 4 and 5 to route the steps to the CSGO work queue. So we want the review. Changing that to the work queue, and there's the CSR at GoGo. So there you go. Click save to save your changes to assistance request case type. So there we go. Okay. Next, add a dashboard widget to display the CSR at GoGo work queue. So in the header of the App Studio, click preview to open the user portal. So in the navigation pane, click dashboard. In the upper right, click the gear icon to personalize the dashboard. On the right, in the edit dashboard pane, under slot 1, click add widget. Under widget slot 1, click on add digit or add widget. To display the add widgets to slot window. In the add widgets to slot window in the case management section, select work list. So in the case management section, like work list. Click add selected to add the widget to the dashboard. So now we have the work list for author. In the edit dashboard pane to the left of the work list widget, click the selection handle and drag the widget to the top position in slot 1. So we're basically taking this and wait, there's okay. It's giving me a little bit of a rough time on that. It didn't really want to move it right away, or I was having some difficulties with that. So not exactly perfect, but I mean, it is what it is. We move on. Click the work list widget to display the widget configuration section. So there's the work section there. In the display work from dropdown, select work queues work. Wait, what? Oh, other work queues work. Okay. There we are. The displayed updates with additional fields. In the work queue field, select the CS GoGo at GoGo. Of course. Okay. We'll just have to do a copy and paste on it then. Click Save to complete the widget configuration. At the top of the configuration pane, click Publish and publish the default to finish personalizing the dashboard. The work list widget is displayed at the top of the left column of the dashboard. So we click Save. Then we click Publish. Publish to default. There we go. Just in case. Okay, so that's officially they said that that's it. You don't have to do anything more than that. You can't, you should be able to go on to confirm your work after that. This optional is, well, optional. But, you know, let's see what they want us to do for the optional, just in case. In the team section of the portal dashboard, click on the name of the team into which you want to add a work queue. Okay. Well, I mean, they should probably be a little bit more clarifying on that. They should probably say, hey, click on the CS at GoGo to add, another work queue into it. In the work queue section, click Add New. In the text field that appears, define a work queue by selecting from a list or entering the name of the work queue. For example, if you want CSRs to be able to access the manager's work queue, you can add it to team work queues. So to create a new work queue, enter the name for the work queue. To add an existing work queue, select the work queue from the list. You can add more than one work queue by repeating these steps. You can also delete work queues as needed. So if I was to go managers, um, there's a few managers. Um, I'm gonna address that real quick. So uh, under optional uh, optional task, um, it was suggested that you could add another work queue, such as managers, to the work group. However, the image provided did not match with what I just saw and screenshotted. Um, attached. Um, suggestion. Clean out the instance of duplicates because seeing, what was it, 10 different managers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 different manager groups. Is seeing 9 different managers work queues is a bit odd to see. especially when it doesn't define which managers that work queue is for. CSR, finance, HR, who knows? There we go. Yeah, the fact that it shows just one there is like, oh, okay. And I pick one manager, great, no problem. But when you're seeing nine, and here's the problem, you know, um, here, let me just go ahead and delete that. We'll add it back in again. Um, it doesn't tell you like what it's a part of. You know, this sure I'm seeing 9 different work queues, but for what departments? There's nothing clarifying that at all. And once again, we go back to my earlier statement about, hey, make sure that you clarify what your variables are all about. Otherwise, you get that. Now tell me, which one of those is the correct manager's work queue? All all 9 of them could be in 9 different portions of your organization. Congratulations, you just played yourself. Because if I said, hey, I don't know which manager's work queue I need to go for, I'll just pick that one. Well, guess what? Maybe you just picked the wrong one. Okay. You might have been wanting to try to get the CSR managers, but in reality, you just picked the HR managers work queue. That doesn't help. So um, it's not clear. Okay, so when you are making your when you're making these details here, make sure that you are clear. Say, hey, I want HR managers or something like that. There you go. You know, that's what I would do. You know, so or maybe it's uh, maybe you have HR managers at GoGo or something like that or whatever. You know, um, whatever it is. But yeah, this okay. That I now have a manager's work queue in there. Which managers? Who knows? I got one in there. It's like, that's not good. That's not good at all because I don't know what this work queue is from. There's no way for me to know. They don't clarify where the you know before there was something that was kind of showing off to the side saying like, hey, this is actually from the CSR at GoGo team or something like that. They're not doing it on this one. So yeah, which one do we go for? No idea. Oh, and because I just put in manager in there, it just added it into the instance list. They need to clean this out. They need to remove these duplicates. You know, this is this right here is a nightmare, you know, for me to see right at this moment in time. Okay. So they should clear that out. Okay. Or at least make it a little bit more descriptive instead of just managers. They should probably just go, HR managers or something like that. Something descriptive. But again, they're probably going to have the exact same problem that they had before. They're probably going to be getting duplicates over and over and over again. I said delete. So yeah, that's a bit messed up. Okay. We are really late now. But we're gonna go on confirm the work. So create a new instance, request a case, and advance the case to the select service provider step. Note the case ID. Um, so assistance request, save and run. Okay, there it goes. I was about to say, I'm like going, they're not really having me get out of this particular screen right at this moment in time. Okay, so we're going to go to the service providers, select service provider step. So, um, again, they didn't really specify who to choose for and all that jazz. So, um, select the customer with standard coverage. If you select the customer with gold coverage, the invoice customer process is skipped. So that's a good note. Okay, so we are now on the select service provider step. Note the case ID is A1. Open the dashboard and confirm that the case you created is displayed in the work list widget for the CSR at GoGo work basket. So select the dashboard, and there's the work basket. Click the case ID in the list to return to the case. Click submit to complete the select service provider step. Okay. Return to the dashboard to confirm that the CSR at GoGo work queue is now empty. So dashboard, our queue is now empty. In the cases entered by me widget, click the case ID to return to the case. Cases entered by me, click on the A1. Advance the case to the review service summary step. Open the dashboard and confirm that the case is again displayed in the work list widget for the CSR Go work basket. Ooh, I think I might have messed up on that one. Ah, there it is. Okay, yeah. I was a little worried because you know I wasn't sure um if it was indeed done or not. So okay, we're all done. Okay, so that challenge was done. That took a lot longer than what I was planning on, but I mean, 5 tasks, 15 minutes. Took me close to an hour, but then again, I was dealing with a lot of problems with this one, so um, a lot of problems that, hopefully they'll consider, modifying it some more because it needs some work. Um, but yeah, that's where we're gonna go ahead and close it on this one. So I want to thank you all for joining me on this. We're gonna go ahead and close this down fairly quickly. So if you're watching this later on YouTube, help me out with that algorithm. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, it would be fantastic. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.